Good day everyone, welcome to today's video. Today is a subscriber replay sent in by Jamedprawns 3. And today he has a new toy, once again. Jamedprawn, being the wallet warrior that he secretly is, he loves collecting a couple of premiums. And obviously at the time of this recording, it is the Defender of the Fatherland event, which really should be the Motherland, Gaijin, just saying. But obviously a couple of vehicles have come back to be bought again. Those being the Lag 334, the PE2 205, the T34 First Government, well, Gov Brigade or something, I don't know. And then finally this, the KV1E. Now the KV1E differs from the regular KV1s in the tree by a couple of key differences. First off, armor plating. Now the original hull armor doesn't change, 75mm all around. But what does change is you get an additional 25mm of armor placed across various parts of the chassis on the front, around the sides, and etc. And the turret gains an additional 30mm of turret armor around the sides and partially the front. Another change is the gun. It has now been upgraded to a F32 cannon. It has improved armor plating of various thicknesses, chief among which around this area here, which is 90mm thick. And the turret itself is actually really hard to punch through. I find people, in fact, I found myself, because I don't actually have this tank, and I don't plan on buying it, I find myself struggling to deal with KV1Es because of their additional armor plating, spaced armor across the turret, because it is slightly spaced. Just to point out, people, it is slightly spaced, so heat rounds will not work against this thing, or this thing very well. The tracks, obviously, they soak up shells because they're Russian. And the gun itself is not great on paper, but it's actually really effective. The first shell, it pens 77mm at 10 meters, and the upgraded shell pens 85. You can punch through the front of a Panzer IV-G, even though Jamedprawns was claiming that you couldn't. You can with this shell, buddy. I've tested it. You also get access to a very, very powerful high explosive round, which is quite good. I might have to give the... Well, I might have to try some Russian HE now. And of course the old shrapnel shells, and a couple of smoke. Now Jamedprawns brought primarily AP, couple of HE, but no smoke. Mate, you need smoke in these tanks. Yes, it may cost you a reload or two, but trust me, smoke shells have saved me a lot of times. But other than that, it's just a regular KV1E, or KV1, I should say. So let's jump into the replay, and we can begin. So Jamedprawns sent this in the other night, and I literally didn't have time because I just ran into a load of, shall we say, Russian bias and potential cheaters. I encountered what I believe to be 2 cheaters in under 20 minutes. So, as you can imagine, I was pretty pissed off. Just making sure that's all okay, because in my headphones this tank is unusually loud. That's why I question doing Russian tank replays, because their engines are goddamn loud in my headphones. And I worry it's just going to drown me out. But it is using the upgraded round with 108.8 grams of TNT, and it has also brought 5 of the HE. So we're in this perspective, he's currently looking over his new tank. Secretly, he was beating himself after this, probably. But the tank itself seems pretty competitive. It's just... fighting German guns are going to be quite a nightmare sometimes. But luckily Jamedprawns encounters what I like to call skillless panzer players, because they think they can just lol pen everything. This thing rolls up and just completely decimates them, which you are going to see. So now he's currently pushing up past one of my favourite parts where I like to push in this sort of battle. Now he is going to find a couple of people using one of my favourite spots, but of course they're brain dead panzer players, and they do shit naturally. So now he's currently pushing up towards the sea point, and there you can see a Stug. James doesn't actually notice him for a couple of seconds. You will notice him shortly though. Uses his binos trying to get a look at what's over in the camping spot, and at this point he finally spots the 3G, the 3F, sorry. And he attempts something which I don't normally get away with, but Jamedprawn does. Kills the sub 3F in a single shot. First kill. Takes a smack from the 4G over in the camping spot, which is that little house over there. It's actually really effective for covering the flank. Just you do need a bit of armor if you're going to stick your nose out. Do it in a Panzer is not advised. Or if you're in the 1953 M41M, you can stick your gun round the corner and it can only shoot your gun, so... The 4G player screws it up, Jamedprawn doesn't, penetrates a very unusual angle of penetration on a 4G. Even so, Flak Bus for some reason decides to stop. James puts one right through the engine block and hull breaks him, third kill. Lovely jubbly. He now moves into the cap circle ready to capture it because it's just been cleared. There are a couple of enemy tanks on his left. One being the Panzer IV F2, which got the first strike of the battle by killing a T-34. And another being a Puma. If James does the right thing, no. I would have waited to cap. Maybe get some other heavy tanks and things like that in here, but it's his choice. A friendly in a AA truck kills the Puma, and the Panzer IV F2 to his left has just been nailed. However, James doesn't realise this and sprays his machine gun into there. But he soon realises once the smoke clears. But yes, James, if you're watching, well obviously you will watch this video because it's subscriber replay, I highly recommend carrying at least 5 to 10 smoke shells, because obviously the KV-1E does not feature smoke grenades. Other than that, this is a great battle for you, pal. But obviously, we've still got quite a bit more to go. So now he's going to push and try to clear out the B point. The one thing that I like about the KVs is that they can bring up a lot of armor in a short space of time because of how maneuverable they are. They've got a powerful engine, and the skillless Panzer player screws it up, but so does James, taking off his track. It doesn't really do much. He puts one right through a questionable spot of the Panzer, but it would penetrate. I have tested that after I watched the replay for the first time. James decides to not engage the actual player himself. Now that shell, I have no idea what happened there. The skillless Panzer player screws it up, naturally, by hitting the front of the hull. That's nothing new. He spots a stern Panzer right there. Puts one and hits the barrel. Now that doesn't destroy his barrel, so James could be running a risk here. But the stern Panzer's engine gets taken out, and James finishes him off for his 4th kill. Now he spotted the 4G, but he fires a shot where he thought the 4G was going to go, but obviously the 4G is quite maneuverable. But being a skillless Panzer player like he is, he screws it up. James misses his shot because he thought the Panzer 4G was still sat where he was. He is not. He has an engine. He gets his second capture whilst I was blabbering. James misses on the move, but takes another smack from the 4G. And a T-34 drives around the corner whilst the 4G was on the reload, and puts an end to him. Second assist. Now he spots a flak bus at this point. Takes out what I believe to be his last ammo rack. At this point he's loading a high explosive round, I believe. And he screws it up. If you'd have kept the HE pal and you hit him bang on, you'd have killed him. All I'm saying. But he switches back to armor piercing. But luckily, there's only 2 crew left in that vehicle. And James takes him out. 5th kill for the game. And that is his ace. Very good so far. However, if you'd have kept with a HE there, mate, you could have ended him on the 2nd shot. Once it required 3 shots. Firing a 3rd shell into a tank, or a truck in this case, can make the difference between life or death. If you'd load a HE and actually hit him, mate, you'd have gotten the kill straight away and the hull broken. 76mm HE is more than enough. And with 20mm of penetration, that truck's not going to survive either way. So now James is starting to drive around and move up towards the enemy spawn. Now, he did mention to me that he was spawn camping a little. I mean, your team absolutely decimated them, so I have no problems with this. But obviously, James being James, he wants to make sure he gets the most out of his premium, because he loves being a bit of a wallet warrior. Jamedprawns has way too many premiums for his own good, that's all I'm saying. But most of my premiums I earned. I didn't pay for my premiums. I don't have any ship premiums, as you all know, because I hate naval. Naval sucks. It sucked for a long time. I'm not spading any ships. The only ship I've spaded is the German Reserve. That is it, and even then that was torture. Naval is just so unbalanced. That's all I'm saying. Now, clearly this Stug 3F driver had his German national anthem music on too loud, because he did not see the... well, he didn't even hear Jamedprawns fire at him. The shot lands next to the Stug, and the Stug doesn't give a crap because he's got his music on too loud, clearly. And to quote Napalm right here, he might be listening to a bit of Sabaton, and to be honest, I don't blame him, but even so. And finally, once he hears a ding off his armor plating, well, technically the track, he finally turns around to try and deal with James. James puts a shot in, takes out the transmission, and you knew he was going to screw it up, people. Like, it's a skillless Panzer player. And I know someone's going to say that was not a Panzer, but whatever. The Stern Panzer misses his shot, and well, he's not going to live to see another, well, to get another shell in the breach. 6th and 7th kill. And there is an M42. By the time this video comes out, that thing will be replacing the R3T20's battle rating, and it will be at 3.3. Jamedprawns misses his shot there, unfortunately. Well, he hits him, but doesn't do a lot of damage. The M42 will now be 3.3, and the R3T20 will now be 3.7. However, you could easily, because the cannon, from what I've been able to find, can fire APDS, you could easily put it up to 4.7, maybe even 5.0, easily with APDS, which I believe had about 100 mils a pen. But hey, this is Gaijin. They probably won't do that because they don't have brain cells half the time. And there is a 105.25 which bounced off Jamedprawns' armor. And the driver of that thing's probably thinking, oh fuck. And you just regret that life decision, pal. I'm charging a KV-1E. But I just got a Discord notification there because I've convinced Dark Angel, at this current time of course, to grind the BF110G. Obviously that was on my phone, that you would have heard it in the video, but even so. And this M42 displays a cracking lack of situational awareness, and James gets his 9th kill. That's not going to be the end of it. There is what is known in the trade as a brainless R3T20 player who is going to scratch, I should say, Jamedprawns' paintwork, and James doesn't like that. Who really likes getting their paintwork scratched? Not James. He turns, Well, that was never going to work out for you, was it, pal? 10th and final kill. So well done to you, Jamedprawn, once again. This tank seems actually pretty damn effective. You're just lucky you wasn't fighting skilled Panzer players, otherwise this probably would have ended a little differently. But like I say to you, mate, carry some smoke rounds, please, for the sake of my sanity, because honestly, dude, yes, your armor's pretty tough, but it can only do so much. Please carry at least 5, otherwise I'm gonna... Otherwise, let me think of a good threat. I will drop a PE-8 nuke on you. There we go. That is a sufficient threat. Anyway, I will leave you guys here, and I will catch you all on the next one. If you've got any replays of your own, send them in. I'll leave them in the... Well, I'll leave the email address in the description below, and I will catch you all on the next one.